All right, everybody, we are live. Thank you for joining yet another webinar for IT for Less. My name is Amir Obedat. I'm the IT Operations Manager for IT for Less, and I'm excited to go through the webinar, which is Excel plus AI. Now, we all know that um, AI is a very buzzing word in 2025, especially given that the artificial intelligent bots such as ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, you have Gemini AI. After all of those breakdowns from all these chatbots and artificial intelligence breakdown, we've started noticing people using it for a lot of ways in increasing their productivity. And that's not really just limited to one aspect. In fact, I'm afraid to imagine the amount of ways it's helping people in our time. So that can be um, a personal therapist, it can be your best friend in some cases. It can be anything that you could imagine. But let's just put everything aside and think about one thing. Why don't we just use it for our own business sake in terms of increasing the productivity? And while it's doing all of that, we can also use its benefits for things like we use on our daily basis, like Microsoft products. We use Excel, we use Word document, we use PowerPoint. So if we use it on our daily basis, we might as well benefit from AI in increasing our productivity, making our work more efficient, time based, and just easing the process for everybody and for ourselves. So, without further ado, that was just a context on the AI. I know it's just a buzzing word right now, but we'll go through some of the core aspects on how it will assist you in Excel. And it's not just limited to Excel, but for this webinar, we'll be just focusing on Excel. So I will just go ahead and share my screen so we can go further. Okay. All right. So for the table of context and just a quick brief, we have the key aspects, key takeaways, the power of Excel plus AI, some of the hands-on demo, and of course, the Q&A. So let's return back to the core question is why AI in Excel? Well, with the help of artificial intelligence, you can leverage your knowledge and skills by using it to better understand formulas, the concepts, the hidden tricks, the time-saving tools that can tremendously boost productivity of what you're doing in Excel. Let's say you're not really fond of the formulas in Excel. You can just ask AI to help you out. And in 99.999999%, it will always help you out and give you tips on how you can use it. And then the next question might be is how can I benefit from AI plus Excel? And there are a lot of reasons and a lot of benefits, but some of the highlighted ones is Excel is powerful, but manual work can be slow and error prone. So if you want to just avoid the errors as much as possible and you would like to have a fair share of AI, you can just lean onto it. AI understands your intent and translate it into formulas, charts, and automation. But just a quick kind of consideration, and for you to have as a prerequisite, you must always have a context for whatever you're asking it to do. Just like for any human being, you would give it some context, like this is what I'm trying to achieve. Even the minimal details can really help you out on giving the best results. So a detailed context type of prompt will get you very far in terms of achieving the results that you're looking for. And then you don't need to be an expert just to describe what you want. You can always just talk to it like a human being. And as long as you um, are able to deliver the idea of the implementation, it will always try to give you the very useful steps and how to achieve the end goal. So, which AI platforms can I use to achieve this? Practically all of the available AI platforms on the market will help you achieve the similar results. But given that Microsoft already offers its AI, which is Microsoft Copilot, and it's built in to the ecosystem, a Microsoft product like Excel coupling this with another Microsoft product, which is Copilot, will be more accurate in terms of bringing the results and implementing it to Excel or just getting it from Excel. And in this course or in this webinar, what you'll learn is how to use Copilot, and we'll be focusing on the standalone chat version rather than one that is coming inside of the Microsoft 365 package, because that one is going to be paid and we would like to have the benefits used by everybody. So given that Copilot is accessible for business accounts and for personal ones, you can use it both ways if you use the standalone chat. Then you will also go through real world scenarios like formulas, analysis, automation, and more. And lastly is the visual examples to show how AI simplifies your workflow. So for the first steps is data analysis and insights. You can analyze data sheets or data sets for trends, outliers, and summaries. You can recommend pivot tables and get suggested meaningful insights from AI. Some other things that you can get the benefit of from AI is formula help and troubleshooting. Let's say, for example, you are not able to understand the formula. It can explain you the complex formulas in plain English. And then it can fix broken formulas or suggest better alternatives for you. So if you think that this formula might be the best one, but in reality, it's not really, AI can help you in that term as well. Like, for example, if you want to convert logic or requirements into Excel formulas, for example, how do I calculate weighted average with conditions? It's going to give you step by step for the implementation. Now, it also offers visualization support, so it can create and customize charts like bars, lines, pie, and etc. And then it can recommend best chart types for your data that you're asking about or the data that is in question. And it can also build dashboards with visual summaries. Some of the other very important things are like automation and scripting. It can write or debug VBA and Office script. It can automate repetitive tasks by the help of formula or the approach that you are looking for but don't know about. It can help with data cleaning and transformation, suggest ways to clean and structure data, generate formulas for reformatting. It can help with text functions, and then documentation and explanation. It can document your Excel model and logic, and then it can create user guides for others, like an SOP, you would say. And finally, it's going to explain what each sheet or formula does, which is pretty helpful. So starting with one of the first examples of what we talked about, which is the formula help and troubleshooting example. So above, let me just zoom in my screen a little bit. I want you to focus on the prompt that I gave it to. So for example, I have a list of sales figures in column A, starting from A2, and I want to calculate commission in column B, which is 5%. If sales is more than $10,000, otherwise 2%. Can you also provide a visual to this? And then now keep in mind, this is a little customized view. Your data may vary. So the reply that you get might actually be a little in different format, but it's still going to be correct most of the time. So keep that in mind, just an FYI, because I already talked to Copilot before, and it kind of customized itself upon my request. And then Copilot respond, it got it for you. And then what it did is it gave me a formula suggestion. So this is the formula that I can use in column B to calculate the commission. So let's say I have a table. This is the table that I have, and for the table commission, column B, which is going to be the commission, I'll just paste in this formula. So it gave me the ready formula, and then it also gives the explanation. So it says this checks if the sales amount in A2 is greater than 10,000. If true, it applies to 5%, and otherwise it will apply 2%. And it also told me copy this formula down the column to apply to all rows. So it's giving me a lot of suggestions and even the answer that I was looking for. Now for the automation and scripting example, again, I will little zoom in, and then this is my prompt. So I have due dates in column C. Can you help me highlight rows where the due date is before today? Now this is an example of automation, and then it got it. And it says, sure, you can use Excel conditional formatting to highlight overdue rows. So first step is where you can see it even mentioned it and it highlighted in bold. It says you can use conditional formatting, which is great. I might have not known about this. And I said, wow, we can actually have conditional formatting in Excel, which is great. So it's giving you a step-by-step step. So first, select your data range. An example, A2 till C100, and then go to Home, conditional formatting, new rule, and then use a formula to determine which cells to format. And then it will give you this formula, which is enter this formula. And then what it will do is set a red fill or any style you prefer. It's giving you the color option. And then the final result will be it will highlight rows where the due date is earlier than today. So this is the example sheet which I was working on, and this is the Excel, which is invoices with due dates highlighting overdue. So the invoices which are red are the ones that are due the date, and it also has a confirmation in the column. It says overdue, yes, and of course, given that it's yes, it's in red. The ones that are not overdue are in white. And it's also giving you the further explanation. It tells you rows with past due dates are shaded red, and Copilot helps users apply logic-based formatting without needing to upload a file. This is especially useful for tracking deadlines, invoices, or tasks. So it even goes further into explaining what we were doing. Now you have both ways of doing this. You can either just plainly ask it to give you suggestions on the Excel sheet that you're working on, or you can just upload a file and it will try to implement that to your Excel sheet and then return the modified Excel sheet to you. Then you can just download it and you can move forward into other tasks. However, the uploading and then modifying through Copilot is not always consistent. It might sometimes miss on implementing the changes. So the best option would be to get the suggestions from it on how to do whatever you are trying to do. Use its recommended formulas and then apply it manually. But you can always try to ask it to upload and modify the file for you, and then you can download it. Now the data analysis and insights, this is another example of how you can use it. So here it says, I have a product name in column A and monthly sales in column B. Can you help me find the top 5 products by sales? And then at the end, I say, with visuals, please. So I got the response and says, sure, you can use Excel's rank function to identify the top 5 products. And then it's giving me the step-by-step. In column C, use equals rank in the brackets B2 and then the other formula. And it tells you that this ranks each product based on its sales. And in column D, you would have to use this formula, and then this flags the top 5 products. Then it says you can then sort or filter based on this column to highlight your top performance. So as you can see, it already done the most part of what we wanted. And top 5, we have it top 5 here. And based on the sales, it's going to filter it out for us. And then as for further explanation, you can see that products are ranked by sales. Top 5 are highlighted in green. So top 5 are the ones that are with the highlight with the ones in green, and then Copilot guides the user through formula-based ranking and filtering. So the ones that are in green are the ones with the highest sales, as mentioned above, which is very useful. And then the next one would be, let's go over to it. So visualization support. This is an example of visualization support. I have region. So this is my prompt. I have regions in column A and total sales in column B. What's the best chart to show this? And can you provide a visual? And this is the response of Copilot. And he says column chart is ideal for comparing sales across regions. And here is how you can do it in Excel. So select your data range from A1 to B6, for example, and then go to Insert, Charts, Column Chart, and then choose a clustered column chart and add data labels and a title for clarity. And then it also says you can also include a table alongside the chart for reference. And this is the result that we can achieve after hearing and getting the tips from AI, so Copilot in question. So for the explanation, the top section shows the raw data in Excel style table format. As you can see, we also requested for that. And then the bottom section is a column chart comparing sales across regions. And this also helps users visualize regional performance at a glance. So at the top, we have our original column. And with the column charts that we got the suggestion for, we would get this result, which is very actually helpful for visual learners or just anyone who would like to prefer visual data rather than just raw data. The other example is data cleaning. So I have full names in column A, like John Smith. How can I split them into first and last names? Can you also provide a visual? So Copilot said, yes, Roger. And it just says you can split full names using Excel formulas. So in first name, let's suppose you have this column, which is full name, and you have both the first name and last name. You want to separate out, just like in this example, the sheet, you would have to apply to the column A. Let's suppose that this is column A, this formula. And then for the last name, you would have to apply this formula. Or if you're using Excel 365, you can use text split and it will do the job for you. And this is actually how it's going to look like. So this is after splitting it for first name column and last name column. So that is actually something really useful. If you're working with humongous Excel data and you have a lot of those names with employees and you would have to just manually do that, but with the help of the suggestions from AI, if you didn't know, you can always ask it and we'll give you the very smart suggestions on how to work efficiently. Other is template suggestions. So can you help me build a simple monthly expense tracker with categories, amounts, and totals? Also provide a visual. So Copilot is giving you the response. And it says, absolutely, here's a basic structure you can use in Excel, column A, date, column B, category. And it's just giving you the template for basically creating the Excel from zero. So it will, not only does it give you that option, it'll also tell you what would be the best option to create it and what kind of columns are needed. And at the bottom of the amount column, use sum, and it will just calculate the total expenses, as you can see this one. So this is the sum. This is where the function sum was used, and it just calculated all of these amounts into this expense tracker template. But again, this template suggestion is so large to the point of there are limitless possibilities of getting suggestions. This is just a reference to what AI can help you with. So whatever you think you can benefit from AI in terms of templates, you can always just ask it. And then AI can also help you build custom functions. So for example, it says create a logic using Lambda function in Excel, and it's giving you the goal, and then it's also so the goal would be pass if a student's score is greater than or equal to 50, otherwise fail. But this is just the example data, and then at the bottom it's giving you the step-by-step to define the Lambda function. Now, other helpful thing would be removing duplicates. So test.xlsx remove the duplicates from column 5 in the file. So in this case scenario, you would have to upload the file to AI Copilot, and then it will analyze that Excel sheet, return the expected results to you, and then you can download it. So if you can see here, this is the cleaned up sheet that you can just download by clicking on it, and we'll download it to your computer. You can also have error correction from a file example, like this one, test1.xlsx, remove error from the file, and then it's going to try its best to analyze, though it's not always accurate in trying to find that error, but it's always worth a shot if you are not able to find the error on your own. So it analyzes this, and it says the errors like hashtag NA value have been successfully removed from your file. You can download the clean version below, and then just like the previous screenshot, you're also able to download it here. And yes, that's actually about it for Excel plus AI. Again, just a quick kind of FYI, if you want to be secure as much as possible, and if the Excel that you have contains sensitive information, avoid uploading that to Copilot, because at the end of the day, and despite of companies saying that it's encrypted, the information is still scanned, and it can be used in so many ways that we will really not want that to happen. So the best approach to this would be to upload the question that you have instead of the file itself. Ask the AI if you have any questions about it, or like if you want any suggestions from the Excel, rather than uploading the Excel itself, because again, we would really not want the files or the content inside of that Excel sheet to be scanned and then be stored in the databases. So that is something that you really have to keep in mind and avoid doing as much as possible, especially with the data that is very sensitive. So something like company, the social security numbers, for example, that is very risky. And then the numbers, the emails, that is something that you have to keep in mind. But rest of the information that you would like to upload, which is what you think will not really hurt in terms whether it would be uploaded or not. And if you think that it will not cause any harm by uploading it to Copilot, go ahead and do it. Or you can just remove the sensitive information from that Excel sheet, upload it for Copilot to make any changes, download it, and just copy paste those changes from the version that it gave you to your original version. That can also work. But yes, that was it for Excel plus AI. And always be aware about your surroundings inside of the network that you are, or outside. So whether it's an internal or external network. And the reason why I'm saying it is because AI is also something that everybody should be aware of in terms of cyber awareness, which we had our previous webinar on. And I would kindly invite you to also watch the previous webinar, which is cyber awareness. So also keep in mind that the data that needs to be protected should always be protected, and we need to have some data governance in that term. But yes, that was it for the webinar. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next webinar. Have a nice day ahead, and peace.